Hello friends, good morning, happy Monday. Welcome to day 17 of our 30 days of wellness and connection together. So yesterday we talked about my dental health dilemma. Thank you for hearing my story. I just thought that it would be helpful for others. And I thought that today this would be helpful to share my oral health regimen with you and to teach you about how it's sustaining my health. So I'm going to show you my routine that I have been doing every day because this needs to sustain me until I have my root canal on December 9th. So I still have a couple of weeks to go here. And but this is something that I will be continuing for the most part for quite a while until I feel like my teeth are healing. I also want to share a bit more about the diet that I am doing, which is supporting tooth health as well. So it probably would have been easier to do this in the bathroom, but it's not really clean and the lighting is horrible in there. So anyway, I brought everything out here in my lap to show you. So let's just go through really quick. I always start off by scraping my tongue. So this is a really helpful Ayurvedic procedure that is super simple. You just scrape the contents of your tongue gently off of it, spit it out into the sink, rinse it out. This is all the undigested material that comes up from your body in the middle of the night. So it's really good to remove it from your body because it does contain some toxic substances. And as I told you yesterday, my tooth is draining. So of course I want to be getting this out of my mouth as quickly as possible. So this is something I will be continuing, and it's so easy to do. It has become a really easy habit that I just come downstairs, scrape my tongue, and then continue on with the rest of this protocol. So next, I oil pull with coconut oil. Sometimes I will use sesame seed oil instead, which is the classical way that you oil pull. Again, this is a practice from Ayurveda. And I actually have a blog post and video about this practice if you need more direction with it, because I do go into the systemic benefits that you receive from oil pulling, which I won't be doing here. But I just get a spoon. I don't really measure that well, just a spoonful of coconut oil. And I also add in tea tree, which is Melaleuca. You know that I only use doTERRA essential oil because this is food grade and I completely trust them, which is an issue. There are trust issues in the essential oil market. So tea tree is a great one. I've also used turmeric, which helps with inflammation. I actually did make an oil pulling recipe when I had more pain in the beginning of this issue. That was back in May. I made one with wintergreen, which helps with pain. It was wintergreen, myrrh, peppermint, and was it tea tree? I'm not sure. So I'll give you that information. I'm going to make a separate post with a graphic of the oils that I used. So I do this, I swish around the oil, pulling it in between the teeth for about 15 to 20 minutes. And that may sound like a really long time, but just multitask. I know that you all reach for your phone or look on your computer first thing in the morning to go through your email. So this is a really good time to do both of those. And then I love placing a time limit on it, that I only do it for the time that I can maintain this oil pulling practice. So it keeps me from being on the phone too long. So after I oil pull, and you spit that out into the garbage, not into the sink, especially if you're using coconut oil, which solidifies at room temperature, because that will clog your sink. So make sure that you spit that out into the trash if you decide to do this. So that is what I do. Then I brush my teeth. So I've been using doTERRA's On Guard toothpaste for quite a while. It's fluoride free. Again, there's so much more that I could tell you about fluoride that damages your health. It is definitely damaging for your thyroid. And I've mentioned here that I already have that issue. So we have taken fluoride out of our water supply, and I use fluoride-free toothpaste. But doTERRA has a new formula where it actually helps to remineralize your teeth. So perfect timing for this situation that I am in. And I'm really loving this. It actually has a more mild flavor than their previous formulation. So I just brush with a bamboo brush that does not add to the plastic in the landfill. So this is easily tossed when I am done with it. So I brush and then I drink a lot of water. And that's what I do in the morning. So of course I brush my teeth in the evening. Sometimes I do it in the middle of the day if I happen to be home, but definitely in the evening again. And that is when I will start to do a treatment around the gums. Now I was using the interproximal brushes, Proxa brushes that you can get from gum at your local pharmacy. But I just realized this morning, I was going to include it in this video, and I realized that they have an antibacterial agent in it that is not disclosed. So that is concerning to me, and I don't feel comfortable using it now. But I just started using Toothpicks instead, and this was suggested to me by my hygienist in my recent appointment, and so it does the work of getting in between the teeth, with which the Proxa brushes were doing quite well. But this is also really good for stimulating the gums at the top. And so you just go around to each tooth and stimulate the gums on the outside, on the inside. And she gave me this really handy tool where you could put the toothpick in and you just break off a piece like this so it could fit into the mouth easier. So these toothpicks are already infused with tea tree oil, but you could always add more onto it. And then I floss, and I've been using this activated charcoal tape. So it's actually not floss, but it's tape. So it's bigger for those of us who have more spaces in between our teeth where food collects. It's a good idea to use tape instead of floss. And then activated charcoal has its own benefits with removing toxins from the body. And oral health is a sign of good gut health. You know that this is one long tube going from your mouth to the anus. So is indicative of what is going on inside. So I know I have issues here that I want to heal, so it doesn't affect my whole body, which gut health is intimately connected to. So let me just tell you briefly, as I realized that I had this issue with the tooth needing a root canal, I found this great book called Cure Tooth Decay by Ramiel Nagel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name properly, but he has a lot of great information on how to approach this from a natural health perspective using natural tools. But it is heavily informative about the dietary changes that you need to make. So this is related to the Weston A. Price Foundation method of diet. So Nourishing Traditions is a great, I know it's backwards, but this is a great book to introduce you to the Weston A. Price methodology. He was a dentist. He was pretty famous back then. He's becoming more famous now because of everyone's interest in approaching their health naturally. But he was a dentist in the 30s who was traveling around the world looking at traditional cultures and comparing their jaw structure and their oral health to those of the people in more civilized places. And what he found was absolutely amazing, that in these isolated regions, so it was mainly 14 tribes that he was studying, that they had perfect tooth or oral and just overall good health, longevity. They had healthy children, and they ate diets that were animal based. So animals on the land and from the sea. They ate their organs, so not just the muscle that many of us typically use, but high nutrient liver and even heart and brain. And of course, they still ate vegetables, fruits, legumes, seeds, and they ate grains, but in their whole grain form, and usually treated so it was easier to digest. So this is compared to diets that have highly refined grains, lots of sugar, processed milk. So a lot of these cultures drank raw milk from these animals. Huge difference. So processed milk that has been homogenized, mixed up, and is highly pasteurized to remove the beneficial bacteria from it actually is very detrimental to your health. So he saw this very clear difference between these groups of traditional eating and this more modern conventional diet. So anyway, there's a lot of wisdom there from his methodology. So I turn to these books. I'm really sticking with these recommendations right now, and I'm going to be continuing that after I get this procedure done, because I know that there is an underlying issue that I want to get to the root of, and it is usually with nutrition. So it's not just about this maintenance with oral health. This is definitely helping, but the root is usually always nutrition. And then it's still not just the body, but the stress that we're experiencing from the heart and the mind. It is all intimately connected. So let me know, friends, if you have any questions about what I just shared with you. And these are not recommendations, just something that you can look to if you have your own oral health issues and you would like some guidelines. Please reach out if you have any questions. So I will talk to you again tomorrow for day 18 as we continue along with this 30 days of wellness and connection together. Take care.